Tonight on CBS News 7.
Your seats are too goddamn small! If your big, round, beluga bop whale-looking self needs an accommodation in the cargo hold, we can make that happen.
We are here live at the scene of a shocking incident where a woman killed her husband for walking on the floor she mopped. Has she been arrested?
Not yet. We are waiting for the floor to dry. Welcome back to the Spectrum News Network. I'm your host, Marshmallow Jenkins. We have some extremely tragic news for you tonight. The only Hooters in my town has shut down. I drove my moped to the promised land on my lunch break today, and I was shocked to discover that the happiest place on earth has become nothing but a memory. A culinary institution that was once the heartbeat of Tickletoe County locked its doors for the last time this week as it filed for bankruptcy. As the earth shifted beneath my Crocs in that empty parking lot, it began to rain. As if even the sky knew what had been lost to the cruel, twisted hand of fate. I began to wonder where Kelly could be. Is she thinking about me? Wondering where I am? My soul is now bankrupt of boobies. But do I get to file these feelings? No, I must carry on. I must become the man that my dad wanted me to be. The man that was born when Kelly hugged me that one time and absolutely smothered my face with those squeezers. Because if I can't become that man, well, I don't deserve Kelly and her massive upper deckers, do I? So that's what I must do. I won't just survive this tragedy, I'll become stronger from it. Stronger than I've ever been. I know more jiggly honkers are out there, and I'll find them.
This just in. The United States has officially deployed its most reckless and unpredictable unit to the Middle East, the Ultima Team.
Girl, I'm lost. Keisha, guess where I am? Girl, they sent me to Iran. Who's gonna fill in? Girl, that. They got some good ass food here though. Did you not see me? Dead ass. Move. I don't even care for real. Bitch.
Thanks, Chris. Known for their unmatched ability to cause complete havoc in school zones, Walmart parking lots, and Taco Bell drive-thrus. Y'all lucky I ain't bring Keisha.
The Pentagon has confirmed these drivers were selected based on three things: unpaid registration, loud exhaust, and vibes. God help us all. Welcome to the Black News Network. I'm your host, Papa Cap and Yo Ass Jones. Tonight's story, BNN weather reporter and local ho Keisha McRib thinks she too good for me. The part-time weather reporter and full-time community mattress was begging me to come through and lay this pipe last Friday, but now she want to act like she don't know me. She ain't ever had a problem asking me to pay for her food, but when it come time to show me what that mouth do, the hoe proudly lied, I ain't that kind of girl. So we just gonna act like you ain't already popping Plan Bs like they a daily vitamin. Oh, please. The dry cleaners won't even take your business anymore. They all tired of cleaning up baby batter stains off your clothes. Don't ever ask me to DoorDash you no crab legs again. You ain't never gonna feel these biggity black balls snocking all up on that tuna fish hot pocket garage door. And she wanna walk around here like we strangers now? Here's a forecast for any men thinking they're about to get some neck work from this hoe. Expect a 100% chance of STDs. Don't be texting me next week saying I miss you, chocolate thunder, come and get this deep dish. I ain't no hot and ready midnight snack hoe. You just missed the free shrimp. And now here's Keisha McRib with the weather.
Producers have confirmed next season of Love Island will merge with the Hunger Games. Only one couple will survive the new format. Everyone else dies.
Senator Buck Nutley has unveiled his Big Girthy Bill, a new proposal meant to rival the Big Beautiful Bill. But does size really matter?
The shocking trend of Labubu violation continues as more and more people are finding their dolls' holes stretched wide open and reeking of shame.
If you thought Bigfoot was bad, wait till you meet his gooey cousin. A kumsquatch was just spotted in Dongwood National Forest.
Did you know IKEA has released a home glory hole kit called the Fuke Hole? It includes pre-drilled panels, mounting brackets, and a stain-proof finish. We begin with breaking news out of Massachusetts, where residents are reeling from what scientists are calling a cum-comet impact.
Officials are asking everyone to stay indoors and to wear N95 masks in case of cum aerolization.
We have breaking news. A laser-guided ship missile has just been launched from Rectomopolis, reportedly targeting Pennsylvania.
We're live from the scene where a laser-guided ship missile launched from Rectomopolis has struck Pennsylvania.
This just in, a pubnadal blankets St. Louis in a thick bush this evening.
Downtown is completely covered in pubic hair, causing highways to close out of caution.
It's coming right for us. We need to get out of here now. Oh my God, it's taking the houses.
A massive gizzard has buried Kamlambus in 2 feet of dong load. Locals blame the lack of preparation on Mayor Linda P. Slurp.
The city of Columbus is reeling today after an unprecedented event. What officials are calling a jizzard has left downtown streets. Customs officials at Orbital Port 69 have seized over 420 stolen Jork blades, many still warm and dripping. A magnitude 6.9 queefquake rattled Clamlip Valley this morning, releasing a torrent of pussy farts.
But wetter.
Formal possums only. Elegant Southern tradition.
Reignite your inner organ with Spleenify.
It's not the bread's fault! It's not meat, it's not light, but it is legal. Mood lighting with flavor.
Just bricks. For hours. No opinions. Only brick.
Real cars, real pizza. We don't know why it works. Oil change or deep dish, why not both?
We melt things. You watch. You'll feel different when you leave.
No walls, no ceiling, just floor. We stand by it, because that's all there is.
We've all seen it. But that doesn't mean it's yours.
Just tubs, full ones, empty ones. Some have voices.
This one chose me.
Don't ask, just soak.
Yo, 1 2 1 2. Okay, we in the building. All right, guys, let's do some news. Yo, what up, Kwame? I see you in the chat, man. Yeah, you caught the queef quake. Yo, if you listen to the AI voiceovers, yo, they're hilarious. It's just that it sounds so much like normal news dialogue. You know, you don't catch that. It's all jokes. The joints be funny. I'm actually using one of the joints you sent me tonight. I'm not using the Legions of Men joint with the migrant riots in Spain. I'm actually going to go over the Osmond Gold one because Osmond's funny. And then if Zeke gets up in here, I'm going to hold out on that one because Zeke is the one that was sending me, telling me to look at the Cologne, Germany joint. And that's from 9 years ago. But it actually frames what's going on now in Spain and what's technically going on here. Uh, all the violence stemming from the nonstop influx of well, the unchecked influx of migrants into the country, illegal migrants at that. So I'm gonna hold out on that and see if Zeke shows up before I do that. But let's get this thing recorded and let's start at the top. Tulsi Gabbard. Um, from what I understand, Tulsi is just um, sent over paperwork to the State Department. I mean, I'm sorry, to the Justice Department uh, on Obama officials because it looks like they got a prosecutable case to show that the Obama administration was behind the whole RussiaGate dossier, the Steele dossier, and basically involved in spying on a U.S. citizen via help from a foreign power, as well as spying on a presidential candidate, and then moving forward to attack a sitting president, which is treasonous in and of itself. So that's why I got that poll in the chat. You think these Obama administration officials? I doubt if they'll be able to directly touch Obama because it's like 6 to 12 degrees of separation. But see who got the marching orders. So let's knock Tulsi Gabbard off the top. This one's Tulsi Gabbard exposes treasonous conspiracy from the Obama White House, and I think this is her on Hannity.
On his very first day in office, President Trump signed an executive order announcing that the federal government would, quote, take appropriate action to correct past misconduct related to the weaponization of law enforcement and the weaponization of our intel community. No person alive today knows what it's like to have the full force of the federal government turned against you better than Donald Trump. Well, he does not want any other Americans to have to go through what he went through, because President Trump, frankly, has been bent to hell and back. And it all started at the beginning of his first term with the totally phony Russia hoax. We spent 3 years unpeeling every layer of that onion on this program with John Solomon and Greg Jarrett and Sarah Carter and others. Today, we're learning another shocking detail about the early days of that sham investigation. We have a newly declassified report prepared for President Barack Obama back in December of 2016, right after Donald Trump won, specifically stating, quote, Russian criminal activity failed to reach the scale and sophistication necessary to change election outcomes. And they were talking about one place in Chicago. Now, the deep state did not like the assessment. That was put together by career people, rank and file people. But when the politicized people around Obama got it, guess what? It changed. They never let Obama see it. Then when he asked them to prove that Russia meddled in the election, they just simply complied and they turned it on its head. And frankly, in many ways, you can say they polluted what was real intelligence and they turned it into poison. And they did it to destroy one man. Is it any wonder that there are now reportedly criminal investigations, this conspiracy investigation by Kash Patel underway, and it specifically names Comey and Brennan. All right, here to give us all the details and bring us up.
All right, bet before she even talks. Okay, so Cash is doing his job. Listen, man, I like that you don't see Cash like in the press all the time. He back there doing his job and whatchamacallit, fighting a lot of fights behind the scene. As a good FBI director should. All right, but I like that he got to this immediately. Let me see what Tulsi's going to say about this. But that he's actually recommending prosecution on these Obama administration officials. Like I keep saying, the public wants to see somebody go to jail. And we went over to by the numbers with Mark from Rasmussen the other night. That's a general consensus in the public.
up to speed with reaction. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she declassified this report yesterday, has many more details. You know, I have this creation of the Russia hoax that you put out on X, that you posted on X, and I'll put it up as you're speaking here. What is amazing to me as I've gone through this cache of documents you've released is they concluded just the opposite. They concluded there was no problem. And then all of it, that was the rank and file. These were career people in the intel community. They gave honest assessments. Then all of a sudden it ends up in the hands of the leadership, the deep state as we call them. And what happened to it? Can you explain what the process and what these documents reveal?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sean. This is such an important issue. And I just want to start by saying that this is an issue that is important to every single one of us as Americans. This is not a partisan issue. It has to do with the integrity and the strength of our democratic republic. And it lays out this over 100 documents that you're referencing that I released, declassified and released, spells out in great detail exactly what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm, President Obama.
Yo, what up, No News? Yo, to anybody, I was a comic book kid. I love Marvel, DC, but I was collecting comic books since I was like a young boy. The X-Men is a character called Rogue. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? That's who Tulsi. See how Tulsi got that white streak in her hair? She looked just like the Rogue comic book character, almost like how they drew her in the comic book. She looked like a superhero. It's crazy. If you know, you know.
And his senior-most national security cabinet, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, and Susan Rice, and others, essentially making a very intentional decision.
Your boy's name is James Clapper. I'm just saying. That's the O'Shea Duke Jackson joint, James Clapper.
To create this manufactured, politicized piece of intelligence with the objective of subverting the will of the American people, who in November of 2016 delivered a historic victory to President Trump, defeating Hillary Clinton. And President Obama and his team, their goal was to essentially not accept the decision of the American people and to use this manufactured, politicized intelligence as a means to enact what would become essentially a years-long coup against President Trump. You have gone into great detail over these years of what the effects of this document and this decision have resulted in. Obviously, a years-long Mueller investigation that cost taxpayers almost $40 million, 2 congressional impeachments, endless smears and attacks against not only President Trump, but his family. He had senior members of his team who were investigated, some arrested and jailed. We had heightened and increased tensions between the United.
Yo, I'm gonna say this, and this is kind of how I knew I could do like this news desk thing when I was talking with Quiet Storm early on. Like everything that she's saying, like I'm glad that they got the documentation to push the prosecution. I'm glad the Cash Patella's on the job. I'm glad, but on some real, bruh, when all this was even happening, anybody with common sense in the general public, like we kind of all like everything she's saying, like how she's going through this whole chain of events and how it played out. Like we already knew that. And we didn't need to be in law enforcement or the high levels of the government or the intelligence community to see what was playing out in the public and in the news. Like a lot of this is common sense. Like I said, I'm glad they have the actual evidence now that enough to push something through the Justice Department. But I make that point to say that the general public is not stupid, and also, you know, now that we're doing not us this channel, but everybody in like the internet space. You know, that's where you get the term internet detectives and all that stuff. Like the general social media, we're far more effective than the mainstream media, and we be calling this stuff way before, almost, you know, years before it come to light officially, bro.
United States and Russia. The list goes on and on about the consequences of President Obama and his senior cabinet members politicizing intelligence once again, and I say these words very clearly, to enact what was essentially a years-long coup, subverting the will of the American people in that election in November. Now, you referenced this President's Daily Brief document that was drafted for President Obama in early December that reaffirmed what the intelligence community professionals, as you say, had been assessing for the previous 6 months leading up to the election, which was that Russia neither had the intent nor capability to essentially hack the outcome of the U.S. election. As you said, President Obama's political appointees pulled that document before it could be published, and it has not been published until we released it today. And the very next day after they pulled that document, President Obama called a National Security Council cabinet meeting to discuss how Russia interfered with the election. Again, this is the first
This
week
is
of December.
9th,
President
right?
Trump had already won. Correct.
This is the December
task
9th meeting.
That came, that's exactly right. The December 9th meeting, we declassified and released what they call the summary of conclusions from that meeting. Then DNI James Clapper took the lead on what President Obama wanted done, and which was essentially create a document that tells.
Sidebar, bruh. I'm actually late coming on tonight because I've been watching all the other like larger content creators, and shout out to them, all the content creators actually that are covering this segment from the Obama, Michelle Obama's podcast with Obama on there. When and we're going to cover it in depth on tomorrow night's Sunday show. I already emailed Tito and talked to Saul. We're going to have a full section on this. And shout out to everybody that's already covering it and getting it in the algorithm, dragging Obama for this. But Obama made a statement in this in this interview with Michelle saying that every boy should have a gay male mentor, someone other than his father or his parents, to advise him, etc., etc. Like pause all day. We gonna get into that tomorrow. So I'm just saying that as a segue because the irony is that Obama's right-hand man in this Russian collusion debacle is a guy named James Clapper. I'm just saying.
Us not if, but how Russia interfered with the election. President Obama delivered the conclusion that he wanted the intelligence community to reach and directed them to find and essentially create and manufacture the intelligence to support the conclusion that President Obama wanted to deliver to the American people. Once that document was drafted, the deep state kicked into gear and did what they usually do. They started leaking this classified information out to their friends at the Washington Post and others who are working hand in glove with the deep state to lay the groundwork for the assessment that they eventually released that served as the basis once again for this years-long coup with the goal of trying to subvert the American people's will and usurp President Trump from being able to deliver on the mandate that the American people gave to him when they chose to elect him as president of the United States.
So you had career intel people that came to a conclusion that, in fact, Russia did not interfere, that it had no impact, and they didn't like the assessment. And they have this meeting with President Obama at the time, and they make the decision, a very conscious decision, to pervert real intelligence, turn it into phony intelligence, but also simultaneously something else was happening. And James Comey, for example, was warned about the Russian disinformation dossier that was paid for by Hillary Clinton. He was warned not to trust it, but it became the bulk of information for not one but 4 separate FISA warrants, ruined Carter Page's life, but also backdoored an ability for...
Oh, no news. You still in the chat? I just noticed you ain't got no wrench. Oh, I know what that is. We was only giving wrenches out to channel members now after the first few seasons, but man, you done been so invaluable with the channel, sending me these AI clips, helping with the research for what did we do? Diverting hate. Like, man, shit. Hold on, let me give you a wrench. You still in the chat? Hold on, I gotta do it on my phone. Hold on for a second. I just peeped that shit because I seen Kwame's wrench. I'm looking at the John. You ain't got one, but that I know why, because we wasn't giving out after we got monetized and everything. We wasn't giving out no more wrenches unless you was a channel member, because we had a whole bunch of weird shit going on. People trying to get the channel taken down and shit. Hold on, no news. I see you right there. Let me give you mod you up, add as moderator. Standard. Bang. There you go. Alright, you should be wrenched up now, no news. You should be wrenched up. I don't know if you're a channel member or not. I haven't checked, but it don't matter. Like, you've been an asset to the channel. Sending me like the whole intro for the for the news desk is AIs I done edited up that you sent me and like tangential stuff, news stories and everything. Bang, there you go. You just type. All right, you got a wrench, bro. There you go. You say you gotta go to my PC to add a membership. Oh yeah, you can join. Yeah, let me know when you join the channel. But I gave you a wrench anyway. I just noticed that randomly because Kwame got a big ass blue wrench next to his joint. And I was like, what? Why ain't no news got no joint? I forgot me and Saul instated that policy after we got monetized. No more wrenches unless she was a channel member. And that was just because people was trying to attack the channel and shit, leaving wild stuff in the chat at night trying to get the channel struck. So we had to regulate.
For them to spy on President Trump, candidate Trump, and transition team Trump. Nobody was ever held accountable for that either. Now, to me, it sounds like you have appointed powerful bureaucrats that just flat out created a narrative that was false to undermine a duly elected president. Now, if that's not a grand conspiracy, I don't know what would be. Do you see crimes here?
I do, Sean, and I'm referring all of these documents that we have found and uncovered, referring them to the Department of Justice for further investigation, accountability, and action, not just investigation, but action. Accountability has to take place. The American people's ability to have faith and trust in the integrity of our democratic republic is literally what's at stake, and therefore the future of our ability to exist as the country that we know it. This accountability is critical to make sure that this never happens again. Exposing the truth and naming those who are responsible should drive that accountability that has to take place. I just want to mention quickly, Sean, you mentioned the Steele dossier. That plays a critical role in these documents that we released, specifically because James Clapper, James Comey, John Brennan, they all knew that the Steele dossier was discredited at this point. It's not something any intelligence professional looked to as something that could be referenced or should be referenced in any intelligence assessment whatsoever. I know that there were professionals who were told include the Steele dossier in this January Obama-directed manufactured piece.
Yo, listening to Tulsi talking Syria, that was one of the smartest moves Trump did, folding her into his cabinet and administration. She's wonderful in the press and the media, real articulate, and The Democrats instituted this lawfare leading up to the election. The thing is, Trump is perfecting it, and they're just doing it right with they making sure they got airtight cases before they make any moves to go to the press, and they're openly transparent with the public. All things withstanding the Epstein files. I was listening to. All right, well, shout out to BGS. I actually heard him on something like the other night. It might have been last night. And we covered the Epstein files briefly on the Sunday, and then I did a segment on the news desk this week. But my overall take. I think multiple things can be true at one time, but I mean fundamentally, there's nothing incriminating on Trump and on the Epstein files currently or even back then. You got to remember, the Biden administration had control of the Epstein files for 4 years. Epstein got whacked on Biden's watch. You feel me? So they cleaned up everything back then. And I was saying that, plus, he's a Mossad asset and a CIA asset. No one's ever disputed that. None of the intelligence agencies or anything. But BGS made a comment, just offhanded to someone. He wasn't even going into it. And he was saying that from a speculative standpoint, that some of the files not going out, there might be one or two things, and that Trump's holding them in his back pocket, and he's using his and that's Democrats and maybe even some Republicans, and he's using it as leverage and blackmail, and forcing people to basically not combat his agenda, the big beautiful bill. All of a sudden, with all that pushback disappeared. And I think that may be highly feasible. I think that, you know what I'm saying? I think that may be highly feasible. And that's what I'm saying. All of these scenarios can be true all at the same time. But the mainstream liberal smear of, they're not being released because Trump's involved, it's not true. Bruh, they've been going after Trump since 2016. That's like a decade, bro. And the best they was able to come up with was a line item on a legal ledger. Try to get them, put Fannie Willis on them, Letitia James. None of that shit stuck. They tried to bankrupt him. Bro, don't you think if he was in the Epstein, that would have shut everything down? And they still couldn't stop him. Bro, if there was something in the Epstein file, they wouldn't have tried to shoot him in the face. Bruh, you see what I'm saying? That's just common sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me see what we got here. No News said the Democrats played a dangerous game. Yeah. And they got reckless. They really didn't think they was going to be out of power. And I think if they did, they would have shredded the stuff that Patel has found at the FBI now, and you know what I'm saying? Because I know they was destroying documents that was leaked once Trump won, there was a shredding party at the State Department and everywhere. And like I said, I just think they weren't able to destroy enough shit. And I think Patel's been there going through everything with a fine tooth comb, trying to see what they could salvage to to make cases against motherfuckers, and they found something. No News said people got convenient amnesia. I've had to remind folks that if the Dems had info on Trump, they would have leaked it prior to their election. And you got, bro, aside from that, y'all got to remember, Trump been rich since the 70s, dog. Trump been rich since the 70s. Bro, if there was dirt, there'd have been enough to go. And people don't realize also that Trump's damn near like a Mormon. He don't drink coffee, he don't smoke, he don't drink. His brother, was it Frank or Edward, died of alcoholism. And Trump went to before college, before university, his father sent him to a New York Military Academy. So that was his high school. So he got a different level of discipline. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, Trump been rich since the 70s, dog. You know how wild the 70s, 80s, and 90s was? Like if you was just a regular boy, let alone was a white boy millionaire in New York and shit. Yeah, bro. If there was shit to find, they would have found it. They would have been able to find it going back to the 70s. Oh, Storm in the building. He said, I would love to see her as VP in 4 years in my bedroom in 4 hours. Y'all niggas stupid. Tulsi fine as shit. She got bad skin though. The girl got bad skin. You know what I'm saying? The 4K camera did her dirty one day. But she is pretty and she got a body. The girl can shoot. She's military, like she's a real live badass. We was Storm, we were saying yo, don't she look like Rogue from the X-Men? Like she looked just like they drew her, and she looks just like they drew her in the comics, which is crazy. White streak in the hair and everything. Oh, and Tulsi looked like my ex-boss from the bank because she had that vitiligo too with the white streak. Shalani Cruz, she looked just like my boss. But my boss is Puerto Rican and Cuban. Yeah, she looked like Rogue. All right, let me let the rest of this play out. But bro, it's official. That's FBI and DNI referring this to the Justice Department. So we got a ball game. They got something they think they could stick.
Of intelligence, and they protested to people like John Brennan and James Clapper. They were shocked that it would even be considered. The Steele dossier was used in this manufactured assessment that President Obama directed be created, along with many other pieces of intelligence that the intelligence community itself, for months leading up to the election, said this is not credible and should not be used at all.
We've got to get to the bottom of this. I hope there are criminal referrals at the end of this. This investigation has got to be thorough, and I have every belief that this is a big release today. Declassifying this is a big deal. I spent 3 years on this program.
Yeah, Hannity, right. A lot of people called it right. To Hannity's credit, yeah, he was on top of this shit early. Let me see in the chat, y'all wildin'. Let me say. Storm said, I could work around the bad skin as long as the box ain't bad. I don't think she got bad box. Tulsi got that, the demeanor, the face, and the walk, like she got good box. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I've said this to chicks before, and I've said this in passing. Like, some chicks walk like they got good pussy, man. Like you can kind of tell. Like, you know who walk like they got good pussy? Naomi Campbell. And I'm sure but some chicks walk like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like a slutty switch. It's like a glide, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they sitting on some good work. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain, but if you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. All right, let's load up this next segment. What I got? Oh, we gotta do Crockett. I think you sent me that Tulsi joint, Storm. I think you sent me this Crockett one too. So anytime we can, we gotta give Crockett that work. We're gonna drag her into infinity. Because she will not be the next Kamala and DNC upstart, not on our watch. We trying to do her like Stacey Abrams and Tiffany Cross and shit. All right, this is from the Will Kane show, but this is Crockett has done nothing but betray us, says Texas congressional candidate. All right, bet, let's go. All right, so we got somebody that's running against her. It might be an old boy.
Welcome back. President Trump is already thinking about the 2026 midterms. And he's eyeing possible redistricting in Texas to pick up some GOP seats.
On Texas, how many more seats do you want the Republicans to draw?
5.
And then what if California, New York, Illinois, and other blue states?
Yeah, well, that's okay too, but 5, I think.
Bro, we talked about this. All right, bro, we ahead of the curve. We talked about this. We did Roman. We did Roman's section from the Epoch Times, talking about Trump's plan with the redistricting and the 2030 census. The Republicans being able to get an additional 12 more seats. Like I said, man, Trump playing 4-dimensional chess, and giving them the Kansas City hustle. Like, look this way while you do something over here. Yo, you gotta give it to the man. He learned. It only took him that one term to figure out the game in DC and be able to play it better than all of them. So yeah, he's saying Texas redistricting, they pick up 5 additional GOP seats. I'm for it.
We get 5, and there could be some other states. We're going to get another 3 or 4 or 5 in addition. Texas would be the biggest one.
Now, it's a move political experts say Democrats have been pulling for years in states where they control the political map, but none of that is sitting well with Texas Democrat Jasmine Crockett, who is accusing Republicans of silencing minorities with this move.
They are specifically deciding to splinter the communities of common interest, as well as just blatantly say, we are going to dilute minority voices. I need people of color to understand that the scheme of the Republicans.
Yo, these bulldog quiches out front, bro. These same MFers that was bringing all of the illegals who are non-U.S. citizens, and they've prioritized them over FBA black people. They got this quiche out here trying to get you to fight to put yourself in the position to be under illegals, while Trump is redistricting that shit to break all that shit up. Yo, the sleight of hand is crazy, man. We gotta get these Democrats out of here.
Has consistently been to make sure that they mute our voices.
All right, my next guest is running to unseat Congresswoman Crockett, and he joins us now. 2026 Texas Republican congressional candidate Daniel Sheldon, you heard that there. Dilute the minority vote, communities of common interest. This would all seem to box you out of someone who would be able to appeal to her constituents.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, this is old boy. He running a grassroots campaign against her. He's actually from the district, and he's an attorney, and he's a veteran. Bro, like I said, at this point, if it's a non-Keisha and a non-Democrat black man, we'll take what we can get. I don't care if this guy's a tomato can. If he's an FBA black man and not a Democrat, we'll take him. You know what I'm saying? We could work with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a non-tether black man. We'll take it. You understand? I don't care if he's a freaking tomato can.
Honestly, we've heard from Jasmine so much over the past few months. I don't think that we're surprised at all to hear that she's still addicted to identity politics, and she is completely out of touch with voters. If you look at the last general election, you'll see that TX30 in particular, this district, her district trended heavily towards leaning right. We're moving away from the left, and that's happening all over the country. So for her to say that we are trying to silence people, I think it's just so off base.
She say she got the middle part bust down on that thing. That's crazy. You know what's crazy though is fucking Jasmine was probably like a little hot when she was younger though. I ain't even gonna hold you. She probably was like a little hot.
What it's doing is it's actually empowering working class people who want government that works for them. We realize that we've been lied to by the left for many, many years, and people want answers. They want results. Jasmine Crockett has no legislative wins. She has no real value that she brings to Congress. She doesn't even have the confidence of her own party, right? We saw that when she failed, when she
looked like a box stink though. Her ass smells sweaty. I ain't gonna hold you. She does. She look like she got stinky box.
Ran for the leadership position. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about that is she's just outright lying. I am sitting here as a minority male, and I am a Republican. Where do I fit into her worldview?
No, you don't. That's the point. The point is that if you look the way you look, Sheldon, you have to think the way she thinks. And that is the antithesis, I think we both believe, of diversity. Diversity of thought would be the start of diversity. Now, you and I, we have known each other quite some time.
Yeah.
We both grew up in Sherman, Texas.
Yes.
You grew up with my younger brother,
Yeah.
Jay, played football together. You're an attorney.
Yo, get out. Shelton knows Will Kane? Okay. Get out of here. Shelton knows Will. And he knows his brother, huh? Texas. Okay. All right. I'm glad Will giving him some airtime. Because old boy running a grassroots campaign. Crockett got Soros money behind her.
And if you wouldn't mind, I think, I don't know, I'm proud to know this story, but you told me the reason you're an attorney is because you had lunch with my dad.
Yeah. You know, growing up in Sherman, you know how it was. It's a rural town. And coming from a poor minority community or side of that town, we didn't have a lot of role models in the professional world. And your dad, Larry King, was a hero to me. He was everything that Jasmine Crockett says about, you know, your Caucasian white male. He was the antithesis of that. And that is why it's hard for me to be a racist or to commiserate with Jasmine, because my entire life I've had people that don't look like me, that don't come from where I come from, encourage me. And your dad was one of the people who encouraged me.
Yo, well, old boy saying that shit ain't no cap, bro. That's real shit. That ain't no cap. Shit, since middle school all the way through university. Although university, I had Dr. Jackson. He was a Q. He took me under his wing. But for real shit, like all the real being put in position and like people stepping out being like, yo, you're talented and we're going to get you in this class. We're going to get you this grant. We're going to get you this scholarship. We're going to put you in this room. It's always been like old Jewish white women or like old white guy. Yeah, that's the fucking truth. It's always been like older boomer niggers hating on you and shit. You know, trying to be like, oh, you moving too fast. Oh, you think you could? He's not. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you haven't lived the experience, you're gonna be like, what he's saying is cap, and he's just because that's what they do with like Republican black men. But he not capping. That is the fucking truth. All through university and everything. Yeah. Yeah, the Jewish white woman been holding me down, was holding me down for a long time. No bullshit.
Me to go into the law. He basically gave me the roadmap and said, don't discount yourself. Everything about you that you think makes you a disqualifier or makes you too unique, bring that to the practice of law and help, you know, bolster and make us better. And so I stuck with that. I never let it go. And to this day, I mean, I'm still very thankful to him.
I can tell you that he would be very proud to see where you are today. And I think a lot of Americans would be proud to see you unseat Jasmine Crockett, because it has to be, Sheldon, that as you walk the streets of TX30, it just can't be that the constituents can listen to the things that she says and come away proud. There has to be a level of embarrassment.
There is, you know, many of her own constituents who were on the fence because she wasn't really elected on her policies. If we're being real, she was elected on identity because she was a black woman. And nothing wrong with putting faith in a black woman, you know, if that's what you believe. But since she's been in office, she's done nothing but betray us, right? She claims to be a fighter. She's voted against every single bill that is, you know, designed to protect Americans, whether it was to protect women from illegal immigrants or women from males in their sports.
All right, I might double down and redo this segment tomorrow night. This is a good segment for a Sunday show, and because he's right, she's a carpetbagger. Maxine Waters sent her down there to Texas. She's from Illinois. What do you call it? Illinois, right?
Protect our border from the flood of fentanyl, and then just I want to say yesterday she voted against the bill that would protect our financial industry from, the Fed Reserve basically telling us when, if, and how we can spend our money. And so she's a globalist puppet. It's how the people of TX30 see her. They didn't know that she was.
Yo, those are our talking points. That she's a globalist puppet. Bro, it's crazy how the shit we talk about now, like you could be on mainstream media, like, not the and like you hear like some of the phraseology we've been using down here for like a minute. And then even people that we tar with certain like talking points. It's crazy.
Backed by this Alex Soros character. And now that we're informing voters of this, they're extremely surprised. And they feel like she's a fraud.
And I hope open-minded towards seeing something that's real. Seeing something that perhaps is a better path for that district.
Bang, there you go, Kwame. It was on the tip of my tongue. I knew it was St. Louis, not Illinois. St. Louis. Exactly. She's from St. Louis. Yeah, she's a carpetbagger. All right, bet. That's that segment. And I wanted to do that one to drag. Anytime we could drag Crockett, we're going to do it. And give our boy Sheldon some airtime. And speaking of which, I might revisit that one for tomorrow's for the Sunday show. Storm said yes, she voted nay on the of course she did, on the big beautiful bill, like in Riley Act, the Genius Act, the Halt Fentanyl Act. Wow. So yeah, she's voting the way that well, there's all those photos with her and Alex Soros. Which when you look at her pedigree, it actually makes sense. Like she's from elite schools. So they basically paid her and she signed up to be, the Keisha caricature, a minstrel show basically. To push this globalist agenda, and her voting record is showing that, voting against everything that's in the best interest of one, America, and her district as well. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I seen Anton got him on, gave him some airtime too. I remember that like immediately. Yeah, because I think Mika likes this guy too. I think general consensus is everyone wants to get this clown, get her out of there. She's a complete clown show. All right, let's do all right, we were at the 53-minute mark. All right, cool. Let's knock this Cory Booker joint out. I think Storm sent me this one too. And this is my guy, Soldier of Finance. I like his commentary pretty much on everything. I think he's funny too, like the faces he be making. He'd be smug with it. And this one is so we could juxtapose everything that's being, basically all the progress and wins that the party that the brothers voted for and the candidate that the brothers voted for have been getting done in the last 200 days. Her net worth needs to be questioned. Yeah, well, she's a multimillionaire. We know where her net worth is. She's getting paid. She's getting paid for all of this nonsense. The cat's been out the bag on all that. I will just say this. I'm going to be, after the State of the Union, after the results of the midterms come in, I'm going to be very interested to see what those last 2 years of the Trump administration look like, because he's getting all his wins in before the midterms. Bill passed, deportations up, all these acts finished winning these, taking out these wins in the Supreme Court, going after some of his enemies, prosecutions being funneled up through the Justice Department. After the State of the Union, and after if we get if we even just get a tepid win during the midterms and hold on to the House and the Senate, what I'm hoping is the last 2 years will be revenge time. and he won't have to worry about getting reelected. He won't have to worry about losing seats during the midterm. He can start lining Vance up to run, and he can start clearing the board and start locking motherfuckers off and getting people knocked off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That standing in the way of progress, and was all involved in trying to get him taken out because he about to leave office. So if I was a betting man, and if I'm a smart man, irregardless of if Vance is going to run or not or win, for myself, I'm gonna make sure all my enemies get done while I still got the highest office in the land and I can't be touched. Let's just clear the board, get them up out of here, because y'all ain't gonna be hawking me in my retirement, meaning the Democratic Party, still trying to throw me in jail and all this other shit. Like, nah, we gonna get you up out the way right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think the smart money's on that play. Let's get this up. So let's juxtapose this with with what the Democrats going on. And I'm playing this segment to once again double down on my premise about the black male Democrat archetype. So this Cory Booker is a perfect example. Like, they are ineffectual, low testosterone beta males. And like I said, this is one, Democrat Party is not a party for men in general. And no self-respecting black man should be calling himself a Democrat at this point. I mean, these are weak, ineffectual men. Like I said, let's see these Democrats that y'all be voting for. Let's see them at work. Let's see how they're handling business.
Why are you doing this? This is outrageous.
This is a kangaroo court. That's what we have here.
This
Mr.
is
Chairman.
wrong. To violate your own rules without going by the mandates of the parliamentarian. This is unbelievable. There's a way to do this. If you want to force this through, if you want to ram this through, there's a way to do it in accordance to the rules as spelled out by the parliamentarian. It is simple. It is clear. There's a pathway to achieve what you're trying to achieve. But, sir, this lacks decency. It lacks decorum. It shows that you do not want to simply hear from your colleagues. This is absolutely wrong. And, sir, this is to me one of those moments.
And this is why the Democrats don't get any legislation passed. They don't get anything. They don't move the ball up or down the field. It's just a bunch of political theatrics and grandstanding. Like, they are a useless, ineffectual party.
Where we are not showing common respect for each other on both sides. I have sat here when we were in the majority and listened to my colleagues' arguments, listened to their passionate statements, and then we voted. This is not that. This is us simply trying to rush through one of the most controversial nominees we've had.
All right, Senator Cory Booker, he threw a tantrum in the U.S. Senate today to try to block some Trump nominees. Didn't work, but I want you guys to watch it because this is more evidence that all the Democrats want to do is be disruptive. They don't have any solutions. They don't have any policies. It's just hate Trump every day, all day, and performance art. Okay, so there's no one that can do performance art on Capitol Hill like the drama queen, Cory Booker. So look, watch this whole thing. Watch it till the end because you're going to see Senator Chuck Grassley expose Cory Booker for the liar that he is. Okay. Now, if you're from New Jersey and you're voting for this, you're out of your mind.
Neither the committee nor the judiciary is well served by our learned and servile helplessness. I yield back.
I will now go to voting because we have competing markups and other committees and people have to leave here soon. We'll go to Bovey's nomination. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, point of personal privilege.
Mr. Chairman,
Point of
according to
personal-
Rule 4 of the committee, we have the right to continue to debate this nomination.
No.
I'm invoking Rule 4 of the committee. We have the right to debate this nomination.
You're out of order.
I'm seconding
Mr.
Senator
Chairman?
Booker's demand for a vote on his request to hear from the whistle.
Bruh, there you go. There you go, right there. That's what I was hinting at. Storm said, who else does that to black men? Just want to disrupt and hate. Hint, they wear weaves and bonnets. Yeah. The Democrat male is basically a Keisha. And they behave and act like them. It's ridiculous. Said, remember he gave the 24-hour speech about nothing. That's his game, to be disruptive. Yeah, just like a Keisha. But they're completely ineffectual as a political party in terms for their constituents. I guess an argument can be made that they are effectual with regard to what their agenda is, to make sure nothing gets done in the country, and that the lobbyists and globalists that they work for continue to be able to destroy prosperity in the country, and that they cause dissension, and that we get a complete takeover of our country. I mean, the Democratic Party is owned by foreign interests and corporate interests now. It's ridiculous. Like I said, there's no rational reason that you as a black man should be voting for a Democrat for like the next decade or so. Oh, what up, Saul? Salute. Saul in the building. Let's get busy.
Mr. Chairman, you should at least acknowledge my Rule 4 point of order.
You're out of order.
I don't understand this. What are you afraid of about even debating this?
by proxy.
Putting things on the record, hearing from every senator. Dear God, that's what our obligations are. It's to state our reasons for debate. At least address the Rule 4 point of order that we're calling. There's no need to rush this. What are we afraid of? We're not pressing for the 2-hour rule like you all did when you were in the minority. We're simply asking for a credible amount of time to air our concerns before the vote. We respect each other in this committee. We respect the understanding that we have things to say.
Now, let me just pause right here to say that he still thinks he's doing that 25-hour speech. Okay? This guy.
Bro, that's the perfect freeze frame. Look at this boy's face. That's the wide-eyed backdooria look. If you know, you know.
It's such a thespian.
But yet we're doing this in a way that makes no sense to me. And it makes no sense to me because we're not trying to do things like force the committee to close or force a 2-hour rule. This is about understanding that people on this side have a responsibility to state their issues. Mr. Sir, you could call me out of order because this is out of order. This undermines the basic decency of this committee. Yes, maybe overrule a Rule 4, but at least address the Rule 4 point of order that senators were elected to debate issues and debate nominees. This is absolutely insane. What is the rush? Sir, I am interrupting because you're interrupting a regular point of order. At least address my point of order. I have the right to do that by the rules of this committee. If you want to overrule the rules of committee, then do so. But this is not in any way in order. You are obligated to address a point of order according to the rules of this committee. You could overrule me by a Senate vote. You're violating your own rules. The parliamentarian has been clear about this. The parliamentarian has been clear. You could overrule the rule, the point of order I'm doing, but you have to follow the precedents and procedures of this committee. This is outrageous that you're not allowing senators to have their fair say before a controversial nominee is being done. This is unbelievable. This is unjust. This is wrong. It is the further deterioration of this committee's integrity. With a person like this, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of hearing from Chris Coons? From hearing from one of my colleagues? From hearing from Adam Schiff? What is the...
Bruh. Somebody put in the chat just like a Keisha. Yo, y'all elected these dudes, and this is what these dudes are doing all day. Like, what is he even talking about? Yo, you right. Yo, bruh. Yo, you so right with that one.
Emotional damage. Emotional damage.
Hell yeah, you right with that one. And all the white boys in the Senate while he talking like,
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
straight up, bruh, this shit this is what I'm saying is like, we can't, like the age of voting these people in the represent your interests are over, bro. It's over. Absolutely over. It's a fucking clown show.
Fear here. Have at least the decency to have a vote on my point of order regarding Rule 4. I have respect for you, Mr. Chairman. We've served together for more than a decade, but this is outrageous. This is unacceptable.
Yo, Storm, you right. That's why I be liking this content. Yeah, he be having a steak face on when he be watching these jaws like, look at this shit right here. Look at this. Look at it. Do you see this shit? Look at this. Look at this shit. That shit is funny, cuz.
Is wrong. It is wrong. And why? Why? What is the rush to take another half hour to listen to people? What is the rush? What are we afraid of, Mr. Chairman? What are we afraid of? I do not understand why senators can't debate a nominee as we've done when both sides have been in the majority to take the time. What is the thing that you are so afraid of from hearing from my Senate colleagues? This is a violation of the precedents of this committee. We're not trying some stunt here to try to force a 2-hour rule like you all did when you were in the minority. We just want to be heard before a controversial vote. Sir, this is wrong, and you know it. You are a person of integrity. How could you be doing this? At least have a vote on my point of order. Sir, with all appeals to your decency, with all appeals to your integrity, with all appeals to past jurisdiction and past precedent, why are you doing this? This is outrageous.
This is a kangaroo court. That's what we have here,
This
Mr.
is
Chairman.
wrong. To violate your own rules without going by the mandates of the parliamentarian. This is unbelievable. There's a way to do this. If you want to force this through, if you want to ram this through,
all right, so he goes on like this for solid 8 minutes. He's interrupting Grassley just continuously, right? He's talking about decorum, right? And he has none at all. Now, this was designed to thwart some Trump nominees, okay? But Cory Booker knew that they weren't going to be able to do that. Okay, they don't have control of the Senate. They don't have the numbers. President Trump has been trying to get these nominees through for a little while now, and they're sailing through. And the Democrats, they just don't like it. So we got Cory Booker with his faux outrage, shouting over Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley. 8 straight minutes. Then all of them storm out. At the end of the day, all theater. They stopped nothing. Okay. And look, the sweetest part of it all is that throughout all of his protestations, he forgot to mention that Democrats did the same thing.
That'll be favorably reported. Before you disband, I'd like to have everybody that's here know that what happened here today is no different than when Democrats cut off debate on Judge Kashubi and Judge Lee against Republican protests to continue debate in November of 2023. In that markup, Senator Blackburn and others were not offered an opportunity to speak on those nominees, and Chairman Durbin ordered the vote, just like the obstruction we saw here. I ordered the vote this time. So if you'll spread that word that this is not unprecedented, either the actions of the minority walking away or what we did here as a majority.
Yo, they getting so hip to the game and smart. They taking social media tactics. They pulling out receipts. Bruh, everything we do in this space, man, is bleeding into everything. They just pull receipts on the Senate floor. That's crazy. Irvin Reed in the building. What up, Playboy? I see you, man.
It's happened before.
All right, and what Booker wanted to do was he wanted to stage debate about this one attorney who just got appointed to a circuit court position, Philadelphia-based Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Trump's former personal lawyer, Bove, I think his name is, Emil Bove or Bove. Anyway, that was the nominee they wanted to put up. Senator Booger, the drama queen, wanted to have a debate about it. Grassley said, no, we're not doing that. So he did what should be done going forward. If the Democrats want to act like children, treat them like children. And you see that's exactly what happened. Ignored them, got business done. The Democrats acted like fifth graders. That's an insult to fifth graders, actually, but you get the point. And they stormed out like little babies, okay? So good. Keep treating them like children. Get things done. But I'm sure we'll see more. You know, they should nominate Booker for an Oscar. DC is Hollywood for ugly people. And Booker should get Best Actor in a ugly drama award. He should get that because he's the best they got. And that ain't saying much.
All right, solid. We at the 1 hour, 12-minute mark. All right, so I'm going to do one more segment. We're going to call it a wrap. It is 1:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, no news. Booker's an embarrassment. Whole party's an embarrassment. I've been trying to highlight these black Democrats, though, because we got to clean up our own backyard, bro. We got to clean up our own backyard. Y'all got to stop voting for quiches, and y'all got to stop voting for Democratic men because they're basically quiches with dicks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, bruh, you got to dead this. And then we got to start doing tether checks on these politicians that you're putting up to represent you. I mean, y'all should have learned from motherfucking Obama. The man is Kenyan. Irvin said, this Booker ain't no 5-time world champion, heavyweight champion. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Nigga, whole style is chump. Hey, let me load up this next segment. Let's give you some drops in the meantime.
Welcome back to White News Network. I'm your host, Kimberly Kumquat. Today, the BFI released documents that claim no special files exist from that one famous island. Wink, wink. BFI director said, quote unquote, although you've seen plenty of known people at that island, no American people, you were just seeing shit. The BFI office also released perfectly edited 24-hour surveillance footage of that jail cell where the main guy in charge was being held. At this point, these guys are playing in our face. Most of you are too blind to see it. Welcome back to White News.
Tried coochie back in 76. It was a phase, but it was a good one.
Sweetie, we was all bumping uglies all summer. Bitch, please, you ain't even got the most baby daddies on this block.
I got 5 kids and 6 baby daddies. Figure that shit out.
These old bitches in here be ready to smash every damn night. We out here clapping checks nightly, bro.
They used to call me the throat goat. They still call you that around here.
I got a tongue like a treadmill, baby. I don't get tired. That's cute. Mine got her tapping out like bingo night. Ask your wife.
Sweetie, can you run to 7-Eleven right quick and get me some KY?
Make it 2 bottles. The Lord been generous this week.
Yeah, bitch, he said he was just buying me lunch, and then I left with a limp.
Good thing he didn't dislocate that hip again. He said, just tried coochie back in 76. It was a phase, but it was a good one.
Sweetie, we was all bumping uglies all summer. Bitch, please, you ain't even got the most baby daddies on this block.
I got 5 kids and 6
Who took my favorite spot? I'm about to flatten a bitch's tires. Dead ass.
Nurse, fluff my pillow right now.
Who took my favorite spot?
All right, Jakifa KFC Ida. I heard you're looking for a new car today.
Mm-hmm. You know your girl needs a new ride.
Well, we do not accept EBT, so get the fuck out. All right, Jakifa KFC Ida. I heard you're looking for a new car today.
Mm-hmm. You know your girl needs a new ride.
Well, we do not accept EBT, so get the fuck out.
All right, bet. We're gonna close out with another Obama follow up because hold on, what y'all saying in the chat? We gonna get you a second. Oh, he said the old folks AI is becoming reality. Oh yeah, facts. Reality than faster reality than folks think. Yo, I heard that there's a whole like grandma section of OF. Like there's all these grandmas with OF. That's just crazy and gross. I'm just saying. This one is Dems are projecting after Obama Russia docs released, journalists say. All right, so and this is my guy Jesse Waters. I like Jesse Waters. I think he's got one of the best shows on Fox.
Fox News alert, we just got a peek inside Obama's black book, and it turns out Barack knew the Russia hoax was a hoax all along, but pushed it anyway to sabotage the Trump presidency. DNI Tulsi Gabbard declassifying pages and pages of documents, showing Obama's intel guys briefed him just weeks after the 2016 election that the Russians didn't actually sway the election. Quote, we assessed that Russian and criminal actors did not impact the recent U.S. election results. Criminal activity also failed to reach the scale and sophistication necessary to change election outcomes. But Obama just couldn't accept that. So he and his staff instructed intel agencies to cook up new reports to support Russia collusion. Quote, after the meetings, Clapper's executive assistant emailed intelligence community leaders, tasking them to create a new intelligence community assessment per the president's request that detailed the tools Moscow used and actions it took to influence the 2016 election. Tulsi Gabbard described what she found as a conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people. And she says the people involved should be prosecuted and has made a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. We knew Hillary created the dossier, and now we have proof that Barack was calling the shots and the documents to prove it. Let's bring in founder of Public News, Michael Schellenberger. All right, Mike, how big is this?
Hey, Jesse, great to be with you. First of all, it's very big news. It's great to see this coming from the ODNI, from Tulsi Gabbard. She's already released a huge amount of documents that people are aware of around JFK. This is a huge tranche of documents that they've declassified and released to the public. And what they showed, Jesse, is exactly what you said, that they knew early on that there was no hacking of election machines. That was very clear to them. And so then they had to, but they wanted to keep using the word hacking, almost certainly to be misleading, to mislead the public. I mean, I myself remember hearing about hacking of the elections, and I thought they were talking about the voting machines. They were just using that metaphorically, but they got the Washington Post and other mainstream news media outlets to talk about that, I think, in that way. And what they were really referring to was the release of Hillary Clinton's emails, totally unrelated to what was happening on Election Day. They were just talking about, you know, what was in Clinton and Podesta's emails. Didn't have anything to do with hacking election machines. Jesse, I think the bottom line is this is another instance where you see the Democrats having projected what they were doing onto Donald Trump. The Obama administration was undermining public confidence in the elections, deliberately undermining confidence in the elections, and then accusing the Trump campaign of doing the very same thing.
Do you believe that the alleged FBI investigation into Comey and into Brennan is also related to these documents? And could there be more people under investigation?
Yeah, well, I mean, there is still so much more to be released. I mean, you may remember that we had reported that it was really earlier in 2016 that Obama's CIA director got foreign assets to basically bump into, to get information to and out of pretty junior Trump campaign staffers in order to then create a predicate for the FBI to open its investigation, which, you know, if you can follow the steeplechase here, was basically all aimed at leaking information to the news media to create a perception that Trump was somehow compromised by the Russians. And that's just what keeps coming up and over and again. They knew that they didn't have the actual intel or any evidence to actually bring any.
And bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, the only new piece of evidence is that they actually have the evidence and the paperwork and all that, because Trump's in office and Kash Patel's on the job going through all the FBI files, which I'm also shocked that they didn't expunge all of this shit. But the general public, I mean, the common sense general public, we all figured this shit out. This is what I'm saying is like, this shit isn't hard. Like, what this guy is saying now that is definitive, and now that there's things are being referred to the Justice Department, they actually, you know, like he said, they actually have the paperwork, they actually have the documents, they actually can put a pattern together from the paper trail. Cool. But the overwhelming like conclusion of what was going on, like, the general public already figured that out. And the numerous people that have been making content on this since what, 2016 on the internet, bro. The Democrats really think now I will say this: if they're playing to their base, their constituents, all right, fair enough, they are stupid. But the general American public is not stupid, bro.
Charges against Trump, because of course he didn't do any of the things they were accusing him of, but they were constantly leaking to the news media. And that was one of the things that we saw revealed today in these new documents, is that they were using the intelligence community essentially as a public relations arm.
I guess now we know when Trump said, "I used to be the hunted, but now I'm the hunter," what he was talking about. Mike Schellenberger, great to see you. Great analysis. Thanks so much. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.
All right, guys, that is a wrap.
Joining me now is one of the...
That is a wrap, guys. We're at the 1 hour, 23 minute mark. That's News Desk for the night, man. Thanks for coming hanging out with me. Sunday show is tomorrow. Y'all know what the deal is. We got a full house. We got a good show lined up for you. Irvin says they're running Hillary's playbook like the 49ers. West Coast offense. Yeah. The league will catch up. Yeah, bro. I think there's like some sort of information silo going on over with the Democrats now. Like, they've been so used to running these playbooks since 2016 and things working, and they're in that weird, almost Scientology cult-like echo chamber in the party, where they think everything they're doing is solid. Like, and they've been left behind. Like, this social media citizen journalist, citizen analyst train has left the station, bro. I will say this though, and we called it. We called it during that first episode of the Michelle Obama podcast. Like, they just threw money into it immediately after the Trump loss, and they're trying to fund. They're trying to build a podcast industrial complex down here on YouTube. They're trying to come into our space, and they think they can use a mainstream media policy. You know, like you would go in and buy up all the newspapers, buy up all the news stations and radio stations, and just have them pump your shit. They don't like I said, they don't realize what the environment is down here. So like, look, that crazy shit Obama said on the Michelle Obama podcast, that shit's less than 24 hours old, and they are getting dragged. I see a lot, content creators with huge audiences. It's all over the algorithm, and they taking them to task. Like I said, they're doing the mainstream media play. Like, he gets on somewhere, he says something, it's message amplification, there's no pushback, and he keeps going. Nah, nigga. Nah, nigga. It's gonna be a whole week of you getting clowned on the internet, getting clipped up across social media platforms, being reposted. And like I said, now they're in our turf. So they only got two options: ignore it and continue to get dragged, or push back. And when you push back, you get a response to the pushback, and you continue to get dragged. You know what I'm saying? It's like a hydra. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. And I hope, I want him to get mad. I want him to say something else goofy so they can keep getting dragged, and we can slowly but surely wear down their social standing and public prestige. He said Obama proved why Michelle act like that, like she do. Yeah. Would have did us proud just getting with Jennifer. I had this convo with Saul, looking back at it now and seeing how things have transpired thus far, up to date. Man, Obama turned out to be like the beginning of the Tether takeover and invasion on the FBA black community, if you really think about it. Like, we've been in the worst position since Obama been in power. If it was, I'm gonna be honest with you, if it wasn't for black men getting on the internet, and branching out from the manosphere proper, and us, making our black manosphere and stuff like that, like, that's the most powerful thing that's been happened in recent history. It hasn't, you know what I'm saying? And now we're actively influencing politics, mainstream media, and popular culture. You know what I'm saying? And we did it without, you know what I'm saying, huge representation in the political sphere or anything else. We took the lane that we had. You feel me? All right, bet, guys. That's a wrap. I'm going to see everyone tomorrow. I want to thank everybody I see you guys leaving comments on the long form content. Really appreciate that. We still ain't getting over 100 views on shit, but we gonna brute force the algorithm like we did it last time with the shorts and with the live streams. No, so thanks for that. Thanks for everybody who sends me stuff for the news desk to review. Believe it or not, even if I haven't covered something you sent, it helps. Because I'll take a piece from here and there and try to put a show together with it. With extra stuff that I got. Tomorrow, Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel. Like I always say right about now, I want to say good night and good luck.
We got more pricey games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricey games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricey games coming up. We got more pricey games coming up in the second half of the show.
In a shocking development, the federal government says being broke is allowed, but if you're broke and glowing, you are officially now a suspect.
You can't be glowing more than your financial status. Look your problem.
A massive gizzard has buried Kamlambus in 2 feet of dong load. Locals blame the lack of preparation on Mayor Linda P. Slurp.
The city of Columbus is reeling today after an unprecedented event. What officials are calling a gizzard has left downtown streets submerged.
A massive gizzard has buried Kamlambus in 2 feet of dong load. Locals blame the lack of preparation on Mayor Linda P. Slurp.
The city of Columbus is reeling today after an unprecedented event. What officials are calling a gizzard has left downtown streets submerged.
A massive gizzard has buried Kamlambus in
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. Man, fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Man, fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. Man, fuck all you hoes. We got more pricey games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricey games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricey games coming up.
Panel. This country needs stronger border security. Our border security is the strongest in the world.
What we need is to take care of our children.
I can't get an erection. You think giving them amnesty is fair to the people who are already here? They're contributing to the economy.
I've tried all the herbs.
Amnesty is never the answer. It's not amnesty. It's recognizing their contributions to our country.
They said to meditate, but I keep falling asleep.
We need stronger vetting.
And to enforce the laws already on the books.
I'm terrified of being alone with my wife. It's too much pressure.
Well, nothing's ever going to change if Congress isn't willing to compromise. Exactly my point.
A wall would solve this.
I wake up with an erection, but never when she's in the bed with me.
A wall would solve nothing.
These children have rights.
I spent $3,000 on a sandals vacation thinking that might do it. Know what it was? Me being limp on a lazy river.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you to Peter Griffin.
No, don't send me home to my wife. Damn it.
Sorry.
Hey, where's Stewie? That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter.
There it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Stewie Griffin. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.